graduation ceremony. Please rise as we welcome the graduates of the class of 2026 and remain standing for the national anthem.
Thing that both natural and non-natural airborne pollutants provide. You're going to see. And as far as a message for you all, I felt as though I wanted to talk about things that could emotionally help you. Perhaps. Realistically speaking, all the things that people bring out to serve you tonight should be of some benefit. I, as a pretty tried and true realist, am happy to make that happen. I wondered how we could try to make it easier to get through some of the monotony, exhaustion, and mental challenge that each day can represent. To get from each sunrise to each sunset, not ignoring that we all need both the short-term and long-term planning in our agendas, but how can we make each day better, and then try to string together a week, a month, or perhaps more. I think that people are struggling mentally now, a problem which I don't think starts in the long term, meaning that that particular puzzle starts with a day, then more days of that, which lead to a mindset and feeling in the same type of way, the rut. I also think that what I want to have you all understand can apply to your life, whatever you do, wherever you are. It's universal. Remember, of course, that not all the opinions and thoughts expressed are not necessarily shared by the never. So, in that regard, off we go. Listo. First haiku. Thus the end begins, ending another beginning, room for both again. Sunrises and sunsets, ends and beginnings, aloha and nature's wonders. I cannot speak if you all remember that I would take so many pictures of sunsets and sunrises. I've long said, and this is nothing new, that they are my favorite times of the day. I mean, what a shocker, right? It's free, it's beautiful, it's unusually quiet if you do it right, which can offer reflection or forethought and direction. And they're always reliable too. They're always on time. Thank you, Apple Weather. They're always similar, but they're always different. And we as a group got to experience both a sunset in the beginning of the year and a sunset at the end. What we are offered here is the daily celebration of Rothko and Rembrandt, dark and light, beginnings and ends, blazing displays of color that either brag about how great the day is going to be or bragging about how great it was. It is both infinite and circular, and not a coincidence that they look alike. Starts and finishes look alike in many ways. The same way that beginning and endings are gray areas, somewhat muddled by the fact that one needs the other, relies on it to happen, and causes its existence and begins the cycle again. In my space, in my head, and in my heart, they create simple, primitive sensations related to awe and wonder. Neither are in short supply, and nature is our provider, both powerful and consistent in that regard. I read some time ago that having the notion of wonder in your life can make several things happen. It can slow down the negative things that we don't like in our life and increase our ability to keep ourselves mentally fresh and younger. Perhaps more elastic, extending your longevity. I experienced the best when my father and I traveled 2,400 miles on the ground in Alaska one summer, all in 10 days. Slow road speeds, almost no cell phone access, and plenty of awe and wonder. And I've never felt better mentally and physically after one trip in my entire life. It was simply remarkable. The challenge would become how to instill this into my daily routine, refine it, so that maybe I get at least 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes in the evening, so that every morning without fail I am sky watching. Every evening without fail I am sky watching. I'm a creature of habit, and my eyes and brain love what nature's given out for free. I'm driving into and out of town both in fall and spring, and I'm sky watching. And if you guys remember Miss Kitty Hurst, she was a sky watcher too. And she had asked for some pictures one day, so I would share. And one day I showed her some, and some of them were the sunrise that appeared on the left side of my driver's side rear mirror, looking back. She said at some point, "I really don't think this is safe anymore." To which I scoffed. I said, "Really, anymore?" I said, "But yes, I agree. So I'll just lean out the window and do it the right way, on the straightaways." And I did not do that, by the way, kids, because I've never broken any traffic law, ever, in any county or jurisdiction anywhere. I did, those speed cameras are tough. To my primitive brain, these are needed events now. They reset my head and allow me to realize that there's always, almost always, going to be 2 times a day that if I make a simple effort to be present for, I can let soak me in wonder, beauty, and awe. I simply rely on myself to be there. I don't prepare, I don't purchase, I just breathe and settle. Nature's wonders are all around you, all day, every day, desperately and silently waiting for your presence. They keep me wondering and looking, continue trying to be that wandering nomad, looking for the next thing without even knowing what the thing is or could be. But that's why it works, right? We're not ever supposed to have all the answers, because that's too much power and responsibility. Think about your childhood. It was so careless and so fancy-free, because you didn't even know the answers were there. And we did that with no guilt or regret or feeling of being not enough. Keep wonder in your life. It's usually pretty simple. Things are also very affordable that way, if not totally free, and it'll help you out of the ruts and might even provide you with the next thing to look for. Whether that means that you go camping or hiking or take your kids to state parks or visit wonders in various forms. They're everywhere. Speaking of the next thing that you might look for, I believe that this is curiosity in its most general form. So haiku 2. Precarious cats, wondrously exploring, all 9 imploring. Curiosity, seeking and finding, and always growing. So many years ago, I told my children that our yard was used for Noah's Ark. Simply put there, so many of God's creatures around, so many, which inherently meant that we also had an equal amount of thrift store aquariums, pre-owned and only slightly dirty things, like vessels and watering and feeding equipment. We would be out working, and throughout the course of many years, we caught, raised, and subsequently released every kind of critter imaginable. My kids loved it. And I mean all of it, even if we had to visit the pet cemetery, as that is a lesson as much as part of the circle and is needed and valuable for them. It made them curious about the world, also fortifying the sense of wonder and its seemingly endless supply of surprises that are only allowed if you're curious enough and courageous enough to start looking. It provides them a sense of belonging, responsibility, and reliance. The thing that you have is relying on you to care for it. But it's just that we used curiosity to get there. It was the vehicle. 2 to 3 weeks ago now, I caught my youngest kid 2 snakes. The standard issue New Mexico bull snake and the rare and beautiful milk snake, which, if you know snakes, looks a lot like the coral snake, but won't kill you if it bites you. He was there helping me work. We were moving and organizing roofing materials, and he had made the bet that when we moved some larger pieces, there would be snakes underneath it. And he was correct. I asked him about his premonition, and he said he watches, quote, tin flipping videos. I said, that's a thing? Then, as the ever-teaching teacher in me, I went immediately to asking him about math tutorial videos, which pretty much killed the moment, and it's happened from time to time. I know, right? Dad does the math. Dad needs to get me to be better. But you have to ask, and that's when he gets shy. And I immediately had those thoughts. And really? Tin flipping videos? Khan Academy? I don't know. Right? I didn't think that would be a good choice. But anyways, he had something snake capable right there, ready to go. So now he has 2 pets that he sort of takes care of. I bet you can guess who takes care of the rest. And I have some thoughts about that too. But this is such a simple example of being curious. And curiosity, I think, can fan the flames of passion. And my kids display this type of behavior all the time, and I love it. They love to look at stuff, usually my stuff. Love to handle stuff, usually my stuff. And love to have them buy me things, their stuff. And I'm happy to oblige mostly, as it keeps them growing and adjusting to the new them that they become. Whenever that happens, they'll join me in my art studio, ask me to teach them things, or ask them to make things for others. They'll join me when I'm doing woodworking, jewelry making, or leather work, or simply tin flipping, I guess. And I'm happy to oblige, as it gets them to put down a phone or a gaming control for however long that is. Those are some things that I do when I'm blessed with the opportunity of simple time. All of these came in part of my own curiosities and employing my own version of constant learning, especially with things that I'm wholeheartedly interested in. Constant learning means constant growth, and that's very helpful in so many ways. Usually these things are things that keep me here and there, right? Here and there. They fuel me, and without that, it's not an easy go. And to put it simply, without curiosity, the search for others is on hold, and how else are we to find our passions? And most of all, already understanding why I feel that a phone can only provide a portion of any experience, and to me that simply isn't enough and isn't worth the cost. And to the point, You need to do everything you can to keep the little man inside your head that carries a flashlight. The one who seeks the nooks and crannies is willing to keep spelunking. If not for that, it'll get boring fast. And for the record, I'm passionately curious about what my kids are looking at. Next haiku. Sparkling, smiling, comfortably arriving. Your simple styling. Happiness, being oneself, and North Stars. Being yourself is tough sometimes. I think it's really hard simply to be yourself and to be nobody else. It may be said one way, and that's if you are busy trying to be somebody else, you might also be following somebody else's path, and therefore somebody else's North Star. And that might not be all bad, but when you get to the end and you reach for what you worked for, you find you've been bamboozled. That's because you weren't wearing your glasses. You were looking through somebody else's lens and you failed to see because it wasn't really your focus. And those that choose to follow somebody else's star path, you may not be alone, or even be the second one to do so. Be prepared for some company and then settling on the concept of sharing. You should have your own North Star. That allows you your choice, makes you sole owner, proprietor, and the one responsible for the product. True pathfinders, explorers, and pioneers committed to carving their own path, forsaking others, did their work, accepted that their hands were tired and blistered from their efforts, and it was the receipt for the due that they paid, and they wore it with pride. I was inspired by a story about Detroit Tigers baseball announcer Jason Benetti the other day. His story encapsulated a lot of what we're talking about and reflected the times that we were operating in. He has cerebral palsy and it affects a lot of his life. He's changed course and adjusted throughout his life due to this issue, one of which is that he couldn't physically carry the instrument of his choice, the mighty tuba. So the band director got him into announcing, and he found his calling. What he said truly resonated with me and spoke volumes about current issues in our ever-increasingly complex times. And what he said was this: I was afraid that I wouldn't get a job because of how I looked. But at the same time, I was afraid that I would be given a job because of how I looked. He had put in the work. He was a phenomenal announcer and he good at his job, and he was happy. But his point only echoes the issues in some way that you're all facing today. It's an ever-changing, shifting game between hard ground and quicksand that seems to change by the minute, and it's affected by pop culture, politics, religion, race, and economic issues that are amplified by acceptance, division, fear, and even more division. What inspired me about his story, though, was that he was unfazed by this. He knew here and there that he was following his North Star, that if he did all the things that he knew he could, that he would be both successful and happy, and it has worked for him. I know, though, it's tough. It is not easy. It's never easy. Something else to share, it's never been easy. I don't know if it's better than when I was young, it's just different. I think that society in general has become more receptive than ever for you to be yourself. It's just that technology has made the sphere of those observing you incredibly large. And it also allows people who you know very little about and who know very little about you to the opportunity to judge you immediately, and from such a safe distance that people have forgotten the golden rule. He is unique. You are unique. We're all unique. And being able to celebrate your uniqueness is a luxury, and it's something that you are afforded to do in these parts. But do remember that the size and shape of the shadow that you cast doesn't really matter. It's still a shadow. And understand what that means for you and everybody else around you, including your boss. My advice is simple. Be yourself and do the things in your life that are going to make yourself the happiest that yourself can be. But you do need to own your choices all day, every day, and then do your work. And then celebrate your work. Haiku again. Yo, bro, I got you. I had you first, but not last. I got you, bro, late. This one's about friendship and trust. I know some of you guys. And as my kid would say, he said, that's tough, it's so tough. I know, he's a tough one. One thing that remains an absolute constant in my life over the last 34 years is that I always needed others in my life. Many things that I've been able to learn and do with precision and success, there's so many more that I could not and cannot do. And like a family tree, you guys are all going to have a friend tree too. And a friend tree takes work. It's work to maintain your family tree as well, but the blood that binds will always be the tie that you cannot untie. Friend trees take all kinds of cultivation, need attention, patience, and constant maintenance. And this, of course, has been coupled with the understanding that friendship seems so fleeting these days. Like it's so easy to get on your phone and find a new friend. But the reality is that most of us have our closest friends and allies, and they were a product of, well, the old-fashioned method. Talking, face-to-face, eating together, playing together, finding commonalities, sharing experiences, and developing that trust over time. I doubt that any of you are choosing gardening to explore as a career, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't try to make that phone of yours turn green for this. Good friends are tough to find, and they become even more scarce the older you get. And it also seems that it's a lot harder to make a friend as you grind the years away, which means that, in your view, your relationship as friendship could be a pitcher full of water, the water being your friends and their friendship. And the older that you get, the more likely that pitcher is pouring out more than it is taking in, which is a recipe for emptiness. If you don't want your pitcher to become more empty than full, you will need to try to take care of your friend group, treating them more like an extended family. And the payoff is that everybody's wonder, curiosity, and passion produces all kinds of really good people who want to share that with their friends. This isn't just about fixing a car, borrowing tools, or sharing experiences. It's about maintaining lifelines and easier ways to make it through with some simple scratches and dents and no breaks. It's about managing relationships and finding a way to not be so concerned about winning an argument or proving a point, or to win at something that doesn't need a clear winner. I heard something the other day that I think explains things really well, and it went something like this. You should seek to understand and not to be understood. This will provide you a pretty stable base, but only if you're willing to listen more than to be listened to every time. As you go into adulthood, this is something that you will need to employ every day in order to know whether you need to talk or listen. And this applies not just to you and your friend group. It doesn't require a union card with some sort of specialized training, and it can be used by anybody. And why would it need to be used? Because the world's crazy, and you're going to need all that help. Parents, guardians, and family members, this haiku is for you. Nest built, sturdy love, heed their calling from above, proudly flying free. I humbly direct the next few things your way. First, you guys have done such a wonderful job. Second, I know from my own experience and my own kids that things change. My kid drove back, my older one drove back from Alabama, this week to return to his room and sit, which is nice for all of us. But there's going to be a time when things are more strange and different for you, like they were for me. And they're oddly strange, and dare I say quiet. I have three. I value all three. So the sound was reduced somewhat, the noise, but I found that I was desperate, needed some quiet too. And I still wonder why my kids talk so loudly about nothing that really matters. They get quiet as a church when it comes to serious things, like a whisper. And I'm not in wonder of this. I'm not being curious about the source in a positive manner. You have that, and if you have the answers, please let me know. My 15-year-old freshman is taking all of that to a much higher level. And I do have thoughts about that too. Anyway, you guys have done an awesome job. They're going to be leaving the nest, and they're going to be making their way. These changes are good for them. So embrace the fact that, like the Wright brothers, your work worked. The plane left the ground. They're going to be flying away, and they could be returning to the ground, but they did fly. And that's the point. And they're ready, even if the tears in your eyes make it harder to see. Expect more changes, embrace them, and your kid will always be your kid, and they're going to need that. So do you. As for the rest of this, here's what I think as the dust settles and the sun is sinking lower today. The ending is almost here for this chapter and of this book you've been a part of for so many years. And it wasn't our job to give you all the answers. It was our job to create the space for you to find your own. This is a giant event in your life tonight, but remember that you're here, and here for the last time with your friends, the family, people that are around you. And today's sun sets, it only represents one end, which means that there's plenty of room for the sunrise tomorrow and your next beginning. Kids that aren't anymore, eyeballing exits and doors, a life to adore. Thank you guys so much for sharing our lives with us.
It is my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Farah Al-Khwarizmi, one of our distinguished alumni. Farah graduated from ASE in 2019 and went on to graduate summa cum laude from the University of New Mexico with a Bachelor's of Science in Biology in 2022. She recently graduated from the University of New Mexico School of Medicine and will soon begin her OBGYN residency at the University of New Mexico Hospital. Originally Palestinian and raised overseas, she moved to Albuquerque during high school and has dedicated herself to academic excellence, leadership, and service. Farah is passionate about women's health, mentorship, and education, and we are proud to welcome her back today to share her journey and experiences with us.
Thank you, Ms. Grayfield, for that kind introduction. Good evening, everyone. To the administration, teachers, staff, and families, and most importantly, the graduating class of 2026, thank you for allowing me to be here today. I think Mr. Nero is a little bit more funny than I am, and I know that I am maybe one more thing between you and you getting your diplomas today, so I'll try to keep this brief and meaningful. Standing here tonight with you all feels incredibly surreal. A few years ago, I was sitting exactly where you are, wearing my graduation gown, taking so many pictures, way too many if I'm being honest, and pretending that I knew what I was doing with my life. And I was hoping that somehow everything would work out. Back then, my graduation was held at the high school gym. It was very DIY. Me and my 14 classmates did it ourselves. And so honestly, seeing you all here feels like a huge upgrade. If I'm being honest, I thought adulthood would come with a lot more certainty than it actually does. I thought successful people had everything figured out, and I thought confidence came first and then opportunities followed afterwards. I thought there would be one big moment where suddenly I would feel ready. What I've learned since graduating high school is that life rarely works like that. Most of the important moments in your life happen before you feel ready for them, and sometimes you never fully feel ready. And that's not a weakness, that is how growth works. The last few months of my life have been especially reflective for me. As Ms. Grable said, last week I graduated from medical school, and in just 3 weeks I will begin and in just 3 weeks, I'll begin my OBGYN residency at the University of New Mexico Hospital. This is a completely new chapter of my own life that I'm very thrilled for and very excited, but I also feel incredibly nervous about the uncertain aspects of it and the incredible responsibility that comes with it. So like I imagine how some of you guys may feel today. Some of you may feel very excited about your futures, but also pretty nervous about the unknown parts of it. And my speech today, these thoughts are not just for you, they're reminders for myself too. My story with ASE began very soon after I stepped foot in America. I was 16 years old, I was a junior in high school, I barely spoke any English, I know almost nobody, and I was trying to navigate an entirely new country, culture, and life. I was nervous and I felt very overwhelmed, but I was also very excited. And when I look back now at those times, one of the things I remember most clearly is the kindness of the people around me. This school saw me at a stage in my life where I was uncertain, quiet, and trying to figure things out. I had teachers who guided me, mentored me, encouraged me, and believed in me before I fully believed in myself. I had classmates and mentors who helped me adjust, supported me, and made me feel like I belonged to a space that I wasn't sure I belonged to. And recently, which some of you guys may have seen me, I came back to ASE to substitute teach. And it was incredibly emotional for me to walk through those halls again, because it made me realize how much life has changed in just the last few years. The school has seen every version of me, the confused teenager who barely spoke any English, the student trying to adapt, and now a physician preparing to begin residency. And that reflection reminded me of something very important. None of us succeed alone. I'm incredibly proud of how hard I worked to get where I am today, but I also recognize that I do not exist in a vacuum. My success was not built entirely by me alone. It was also shaped by being surrounded by kind people who chose to help me, even when they had nothing to gain from doing so. People who tutored me, people who mentored me, advised me, encouraged me, opened doors for me. Some even financially supported me to go to conferences and get educated and build those connections. And their kindness truly changed the trajectory of my life. And I really think that matters deeply. I know most of you have had people in your lives who have supported you similarly, like people have supported me. And I've come to believe that communities function a lot like the human body. Every individual plays a role, and when one part suffers, eventually the entire body feels it too. So we truly cannot thrive alone, and our success is deeply connected to the success and well-being of the people around us. So wherever life takes you after tonight, I hope you remember the importance of being kind and present for others, especially strangers. You never truly know how much a small act of support can impact someone's future, and I want you to remember one important thing. People may not remember your words, people may not remember your actions, but they will remember how you made them feel. Tonight, all of you are standing at the edge of a completely new chapter of your life, and I know it looks differently for all of you. I also know that people are probably asking you the same questions over and over and over again. What's next? What are you studying? What career do you want? Where do you see yourself in 5 years, in 10 years? And at 18 years old, everyone suddenly expects you to have a perfectly organized 5-year plan. I know some of you are excited. I also know that some of you are terrified. Some of you may know exactly what you want, and some of you have absolutely no idea what comes next. And I really hope that everyone knows that not knowing everything yet is normal. I think one of the biggest pressures that young people face today is the idea that you're supposed to immediately discover your passion and map out your whole entire future perfectly. And while some people may truly do have, this deep passion and they know exactly what they want to pursue, many people don't, and that's completely okay too. I think we often romanticize our career choices and life decisions. We act like every successful person had one magical moment where everything suddenly became clear. But honestly, many people simply make the best decision they can with the information they have at the time. And that was true for me. When I graduated from ASE and I started college at UNM, I do not remember having this big dramatic moment where I suddenly realized medicine was my calling. I knew I enjoyed science. I also knew that medicine felt familiar because my mother and my older brother were both in healthcare. At that time, biology seemed like the path that made the most sense for me. I chose it, and I gave myself permission to change my mind if I ever needed to. And in fact, there were several moments where I considered completely different paths and career choices for myself. What I'm trying to say is that your future does not always begin with certainty or passion. Sometimes your path begins with curiosity, or practicality, or simply choosing something that aligns with who you are right now. Those reasons are all equally as valid. You're not behind because your path looks different from someone else's, and you're not failing because you don't have everything figured out yet. And you do not need to have your entire future mapped out in order to have a meaningful life. In fact, you'll meet people who will tell you to lower your expectations, change your plans, or give up entirely, and sometimes they will be people that you respect. The summer that I had applied to medical school, I met with my pre-med advisor, who told me to not apply to medical school. He told me that I was not ready, and that I would likely not get accepted. Can you imagine how demoralizing that felt for me at the time? It was my advisor, he knew my application, he knew everything about me, my grades, my letters, my experiences. He had the most experience with, which kind of student gets accepted into my dream school. And he told me not to apply. I applied anyways. One thing I didn't tell you guys about me is I'm very stubborn. So I applied to one school. I applied to UNM because it was my dream school, and I got accepted my first attempt. This is not a story about telling you to prove people wrong. It's a story about you defining your own journey. It's about understanding that nobody else can fully determine your limits for you. So I encourage you to be bold, be confident, and really give yourself a fair chance at any decision that you make. My journey has also been filled with many moments of doubt, moments where I felt out of place, moments where I questioned whether I was smart enough, capable enough, or strong enough to reach the goals that I had for myself. Medical school especially has a way of humbling you very quickly for any of you out there choosing that path. There are moments where I would walk into a hospital feeling very confident, and then 5 minutes later I get very humbled, and I realize that I know absolutely nothing. And one of the most important lessons I learned through all of those experiences is this: confidence is not something that people are born with, confidence is built. It is built every time you try again after failure, every time you speak up despite fear, every time you walk into a room before you fully believe that you belong there, and every time you continue despite discomfort. And honestly, I really do believe that sometimes confidence is just faking it until you make it. Not pretending to be someone that you're not, but allowing yourself to step into opportunities and, be there before you feel fully ready for them. Because the truth is, most people that you admire are scared too. The difference is they keep moving anyways. As you step into this next phase of your life, there will be also moments where you compare yourself to other people. Especially today, when social media constantly makes us feel like everyone else is moving faster than us. You'll see engagement announcements, dream jobs, acceptance letter, travel photos, career milestones, and sometimes you'll feel like everyone else has life figured out before you do. I want you to remember that life is not a race. There is no universal timeline for success, and some people discover themselves early, while others discover themselves later. And some honestly just completely reinvent themselves multiple times. And honestly, I really believe that can be a beautiful thing. You're allowed to grow and change your mind, and you're allowed to become a completely different person than you imagined at 18. Another thing that I hope that you guys carry with you after tonight is the importance of consistency. We celebrate the big moments, graduations, titles, awards, acceptance letters, but most success is built quietly. It's built on the ordinary days where nobody is clapping for you, days where motivation disappears, and days where progress feels invisible. The reality is that discipline will take you farther than any motivation ever will, because those small, repeated efforts shape your future far more than those dramatic outbursts ever can. The person you become in 5 years will largely be shaped by the small decisions that you make every day, the habits that you build, the people that you surround yourself with, the way you speak to yourself, the risks you decide to take, and the moments where you choose to continue, even when things become difficult. I hope that none of you allow fear to ever stop you from pursuing the life that you actually want, and I hope that you realize that the most rewarding moments of my education and career were the ones that I pursued when I was really unsure of myself. Many people spend years shrinking themselves because they're afraid of rejection, embarrassment, or not being immediately good at something. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is a part of success. And while achievement is important, I hope you also remember that your worth is not measured by grades, productivity, or titles. It is people will not remember your GPA, but they will remember your kindness, your integrity, your presence, and your character, and most importantly, the way that you made them feel. I want you all to build a life that feels meaningful to you and not become so focused on your future that you forget to experience your presence as well. These are years of your life that you deserve to spend in a way that feels meaningful, because one day those moments that feel ordinary right now will become the memories that you miss the most. Graduates, tonight is not just an ending. It is a proof of how far you've already come. There are moments where many of you felt overwhelmed, uncertain, exhausted, or discouraged, but here you are, and that's all that matters. I really remain incredibly hopeful about your generation because I see people who are thoughtful, creative, compassionate, resilient, and capable of creating meaningful change. I want you to know that your background matters, your perspective matters, and your voice matters as well. And sometimes, the very things that once made you feel different become your greatest strength. In any field that you choose to pursue, and I will use mine as an example, in medical school, many of my peers were smart, hardworking, they had great grades. What makes me a great physician is not the fact that I'm smart, hardworking, and have great grades like my peers, but it is my perspective, my background, and my lived experiences that make me such a valuable addition to any team that I'm a part of. And this applies to all of you. Each one of you has specific qualities that make you unique and a valuable addition to any team. And I encourage you to always focus on that strength. One day you will look back at the person you are tonight, you're sitting in this audience wondering what comes next, and realize that even in moments of uncertainty, you were already becoming the person you were meant to be. ASE once gave me, a nervous 16-year-old, a place to grow, dream, and believe in herself. And tonight I hope every one of you leaves knowing that your story, no matter how uncertain you may feel right now, has the power to become something extraordinary. Class 2026, congratulations. Your story is only beginning today. Thank you.
Now we'll hear from some of our graduates. Our first speaker tonight is Katie Gooch.
Graduation. Today marks the end of one chapter and the beginning of an exciting new one. Standing here now, I realize how much has changed since we first walked through these halls as freshmen. Feels like only yesterday we were trying to find our classrooms, figuring out our schedules, and wondering what high school would be like. Over the last 4 years, we've survived the early morning alarms we wanted to ignore, the late night assignments, and the projects that at times felt impossible. But when I look back at our time here, it's the small moments that stand out most. The laughter in the cafeteria, the combos between classes, and the friendships that started as assigned seats and turned into lifelong friendships. High school isn't just about homework or grades. It's about learning how to keep moving when things feel hard. How to handle pressure. Sorry. Ooh.
You got this, Katie!
And how to be ourselves. One memory I'll never forget comes from my freshman year in Mr. Holz's mock trial class. During my monologue, I completely froze, tears and all. I was so embarrassed. But when I returned to my seat, Zoe immediately comforted me. She told me that for my first time speaking in front of a crowd, I did well. More importantly, she encouraged me, gave me advice, and spent time helping me learn my role. Her support and kindness helped me become more confident and speaking in front of others, which I wouldn't have been able to do today. So thank you. And due to that confidence, I later earned the Star Witness Award in our mock trial competition. This moment taught me something. Sometimes the people who believe in you can help us believe in ourselves. I will always remember my senior year and the opportunity they gave me to travel abroad. I visited Paris, Belgium, and Amsterdam, places I had dreamed of seeing for years. I learned how to make stroopwafels, tasted organic cheese. Where's my hat? Sorry. And even saw how wooden clogs are made. This trip taught me that there is so much waiting for us outside of what we've always known. Seeing different cultures and ways of life reminded me how much there is to learn, experience, and discover in the future ahead of us. As we leave here today, we're all headed in different directions. Some of us know exactly where we're headed, while others are still finding their direction. No matter where we go, I hope we continue to grow, support one another, and carry the lessons we learned here with us today. The class of 2026 leaves today with more than diplomas. We leave with unforgettable memories, meaningful friendships, and moments that helped shape the people we've become. As we start this next chapter, I hope we continue to challenge ourselves, embrace new opportunities, and appreciate the people who helped us get there. And to my family, thank you for always believing in me, even when I didn't believe in myself. I would not be here today without your love and support.
You're welcome, Katie!
Congratulations, class of 2026. We did it. And specifically to Rudy, because I know he asked me not to do this. But sorry, it's going to happen. Today is a good day, and it will continue to be. Thank you guys so much.
Please welcome Graciela Hernandez.
Look at us, Gracie.
Okay, is everyone good? Yeah? Okay. Hello, class of 2026. Today is the mark of our final day of high school and as seniors. Our final moment as a class, all together in a room, share with memories and branches of growing futures. We share this classroom today, except there is no desk. No, our desks will be our diplomas where we rest our hands and awards ourselves love for working our way up to this moment. We all knew that it wasn't going to be easy. Saying that it was would only be a lie. I know that we struggled and wanted to stop, to catch our breaths and capture our thoughts. I wondered, what is the purpose? How many days of this? Why should my grades be the stability of my future? The questions became heavy during high school, and even to this day, they linger quietly. Yet the purpose is that we become honest with ourselves and as we push our abilities beyond our limitations. Grades might be letters or numbers, but it shows that all you did that headache of a homework assignment so you could prove to others that you could do it and that you're capable of numerous things. Even if you took shortcuts and you're still smart and courageous enough to understand what you did and how you did it. Even if time feels short, you reach this resting point, and know I am truly proud of all of you. Even if we only share short memories or no longer talk about our ever-changing lives, I love you all dearly. Your future will now watch you and lead you on the path you chose. Do not fret about what you need to do after. Just relax and take it all in. Notice your gowns and how it envelops you whole. Live this moment. As I take it all in myself, it feels like a lucid dream. My hands shake with each word, and the gaze of everyone here fills me whole. My thoughts blur with rushing memories of my class in front of me. Yet, even through the crowd of many, I feel the love and support of my mom and dad. Two figures of my dreams who guided me for the past 18 years. They see me as a small blue bird who is quiet and yet troublesome. Lucy and Rafa will know about that, but as I grew older, I began to change and notice my dreams shift. My mother, who works endlessly, who cooks the best dishes, who matches my energy, and who has always been there for me. I wouldn't be able to stand up for myself and know my self-worth if it wasn't for her. Thank you, Mom, for the years you helped me and for the many hardships you endured and overcame weathered for my future. I know you hold so much on your shoulders, so please allow me to lighten this burden so I will too face the reality of this world. To my dad, who takes my hand when I spiral to doubt and isolation and leads me to life's ends and new journeys. You have always been someone I can trust and rely on. I know your youth was a struggle, but I hope that during my own youth, you learned how to find clarity and rest. You showed me to be kind and share my love for others. You gave me my name, and you've given me blessings to which I honor every day. Your humor, your singing, and beautiful memories that continue to grow. But please, don't bless me with your baldness. I like my hair. I would be lost and likely a loser if it weren't for my family here today. And for my other family, my fellow graduates, I am forever grateful for you all as we made the most insane memories at ASE. I've seen each of you grow and crash out, and don't worry, I won't judge yet. To those specifically who were by my side during my high school year, I want to say thank you to Edson Gutierrez and Nicolai Megre Ramirez. You both have made this year wonderful and tolerable. During my worst times, you were by my side and made the heavy struggles lighter. Even if I can't remember the day we all first met each other, our other memories would make up for it, as I wish to continue sharing moments with you in the future. I would also like to say thank you to Amara Grace Francis and Brianna Amanda Luby for your random jokes, lectures, interesting thoughts, and most importantly, your love. You all played a part in this dream of mine, so when I wake up tomorrow, I will take all of you into my heart and express my uttermost gratitude and love for you all. Tomorrow, we will walk new paths and choose what to do. Class of 2026, congratulations, and I wish you all a safe and fun future. Thank you.
Okay, we finally made it. It's hard to believe that the younger versions of ourselves once dreamed about this day, and now it's finally here. What once felt so far away has officially become our reality. Lo que algún día parecía imposible, hoy se convirtió en nuestra realidad. I'd like to tell you guys a quote from my favorite country artist singer, and I know my class of 2026 is not a big fan of country music, but I hope you guys take something out of this. If you got a chance, take it. While you got the chance, if you got a dream, chase it, because a dream won't chase you back. And I gotta say, I've been living up for it to these entire 4 years. I still remember walking into kindergarten, not knowing a single word of English, and somehow getting in trouble the first day of school because I wanted to keep playing toys with my friend. I know, but that's a whole different story. We can talk about that another day. I didn't realize those small, silly moments were already shaping the person I would become. Curious, a little stubborn, although I know my dad would say otherwise, and always asking questions. Looking back now, it's crazy to think about how far we've come from moments like that. ¿Quién diría que esa niña que apenas entendía el idioma algún día estaría aquí contando su historia con orgullo? It's also crazy to think about how different our lives look from what we once imagined. At 5 years old, I was completely convinced I was going to be a full-time cowgirl, drop out of school, chase cows, and run barrels for a living. And then middle school came along, and at 12 years old, I knew I wanted to become a veterinarian and save animals' lives all over the world. But by high school, the question became more serious, and so did my answer. At 16, I decided I wanted to be a homicide detective. And I know, if little me were standing in front of me right now, she'd probably ask, why help dead people instead of animals? But I'd like to think that she understands that the purpose never really changed. La misión siempre fue la misma, helping others. It always has been about making a difference in people's lives, just in a different way. Each version of my dream didn't replace the last one. It simply added another layer to the person I was becoming. Today, I stand here graduated with an associate's degree in criminology and in liberal arts, along with two... moment, I logged out of my thing, okay. Okay, along with 2 certificates before I even completed high school. Antes de recibir mi diploma de high school, ahí ya estaba caminando con títulos universitarios en mis manos. And to anyone who doubted me, underestimated me, or thought I wouldn't make it this far, thank you. Your doubt became motivation. Every comment, every judgment, every moment I felt overlooked only pushed me to work harder. Porque a veces los sueños crecen más fuertes cuando la gente piensa que no eres capaz de lograrlos. Y sí, yo estoy bien orgullosa de lo que he cumplido en estos últimos 4 años, pero no estoy satisfecha porque hay otras metas por alcanzar. While our stories may look different, we have shared many of the same chapters. Difficult classes, endless homework, stress, exhaustion, and moments where we question ourselves. But even during the hardest days, we kept going. Y aunque el camino no siempre fue fácil, aquí estamos. Stronger, wiser, and closer to the people who were meant to become. For many of us tonight, it's more meaningful because we are first-generation graduates. This dream is not just ours. It also belongs to our parents and families whose sacrifices made this moment possible. Walking across this stage carries the weight of hard work, the long hours they spent working, the opportunities they gave us, the dreams they put aside so ours could move forward. Nuestros logros también llevan sus huellas de sus sacrificios. Even if they didn't always say it, we know this moment belongs to them as much as it belongs to us. At this moment, I would like to thank my mom and dad for always being, for everything they have done for me, for the endless support they have always given me. There are no words big enough to describe the gratitude I have for you both. Mamá y papá, gracias por sacrificar tanto para darme una vida llena de oportunidades. Gracias por cada desvelo, cada consejo, cada oración y cada esfuerzo que hicieron, incluso cuando nadie más lo veía. Todo lo que soy, todo lo que he logrado y todo lo que llegaré a ser lleva una parte de ustedes conmigo. Este logro no es solo mío, también de ustedes. Los amo más de lo que las palabras podrían explicar. Now, I know that my goal is to become a homicide detective sometime in the near future. But there's something that almost every graduate here sitting tonight knows about me. My desire to be a cop. And honestly, after hearing me talk about it for the last 3 years, some of you probably deserve honorary badges for it. Especially my tia, that's somewhere in the crowd, because she would have to listen to my complaints about her running stop signs every time I would be with her. I just hope that you coming to my graduation, you didn't run any stop signs all the way here. With that being said, once I finally earn my badge, if I ever see any of you driving around in town, don't be surprised if I pull you over. Not because you did anything wrong, I hope, or just because I wanted to say hi. And Mr. Wood, which I see over there, just know that you have officially have free passes out of speeding tickets for at least the next 6-7 years. And your yell? Yeah, your yell. Honestly, if I see you in the streets, whether you're innocent or not, you might still end up in the back of my unit.
Yeah, get him!
And at that point, it's less about the law. It's more about personal entertainment. Just kidding, yo. I don't know, actually. But in all seriousness, I hope every single one of us chase our goals as fearless as we once chased the lunch lines in high school. And if one day you see me surviving off coffee, paperwork, and donuts at 3 in the morning, just know little me would probably think I became the coolest version of myself possible. As we look towards the future, it's natural to feel both excitement and fear. Some of us will continue our education, some of us will go directly into careers, and some of us are still figuring things out. And that's okay. The future is not written, it's for us to create. Nuestro futuro no está escrito, nosotros somos quienes escribimos la historia. Graduation is not just about a diploma or a piece of paper. It's about the lessons we learned along the way. The late night studying, the mornings we didn't want to get out of bed, the moments we thought we couldn't keep going, and then somehow we did it. Porque la verdadera victoria no fue llegar fácil, sino no rendirnos. So as we throw our caps today into the air, let's carry with us not only the memories we made, but also a promise to keep learning, to keep growing, and to keep believing in ourselves and each other. As we step into whatever comes next, let's not be afraid of not having everything figured out. Let's be proud of how far we've come. Let's take risks, big mistakes, and start over if we need to, and continue becoming better than what we were yesterday. Because at the end of the day, we are proof that dreams are bigger than fear, sacrifices bigger than obstacles, and faith bigger than doubt can change an entire life. Somos prueba viviente de que sí se puede. Congratulations, class of 2026.
Please welcome our next speaker, Nicolette Wagmari Ramirez.
Growing up, I used to think success meant having all the answers. But now I realize success is having the courage to keep going when you don't. As Maya Angelou once said, you may encounter many defeats, but you must not be defeated. And I think every student graduating today understands that feeling. My whole life growing up, my mother always told me, study so you don't end up like me. But like what? Smart, hardworking, optimistic, resilient, funny, devoted, brave, unique. I think if sacrifice had a face, it would look like my mother. My whole life, you have always been there for me, and I've always been there for you. You showed me what strength looks like, even on the days when you felt like you had none left. You taught me that success isn't just about where you end up, but about how you keep going when things get rough. There were moments when giving up felt easier, moments the future felt uncertain, when stress, fear, and pressure seemed louder than hope. But somehow we kept going. Every late night, every failure, every lesson shaped us into who we are today. And along the way, I was lucky enough to find people who walked me through that journey. To my friends, thank you for the laughter, the memories, and for standing by me through thick and thin. You made even the hardest days feel lighter, the best days unforgettable. To those who have supported me quietly from 2,200 miles away, to those who showed up in the moments I need most, who reminded me of my worth even when I couldn't see it myself. Thank you. Your presence has meant more than words can fully express. And while graduation marks the end of one chapter, it also is the beginning of another. We're all walking into different futures, carrying different dreams, different fears, different goals. But no matter where life takes us, we will always remember the people who have get us here. Everything I am today and everything I will become is because of you. Your sacrifices didn't go unnoticed. Your lessons didn't go unheard. And your love will always be the foundation I stand on. Only when it is dark enough, you can see the stars. Those words come from Martin Luther King Jr. It reminds me of the hardest moments, there is still light. To my brothers, Mateo and Rodolfo, I hope one day I can be the kind of inspiration for you that our mother has always been for me. I hope you always believe in yourselves even when things feel impossible. And never forget your light can still shine, no matter how dark it is. So today isn't just about my achievements, it's ours. Thank you for being my strength, my guide, my greatest inspiration. To my classmates,
Behind every cap and gown is a story nobody else fully knows. And yet, despite everything, here we are. We are the children of sacrifice, resilience of hope. No matter where we go after, we carry the strength with us. Thank you.
Now please welcome Jared Torres.
Thank you, Val. Good evening, everyone. I didn't really know how to write a graduation speech because most graduation speeches kind of sound the same. I think they act like we're supposed to walk out of here with life figured out already. Which is funny because it reminds me of advice my stepmom likes to give me all the time. Figure it out. And I think that's crazy advice because if we could figure things out, we probably wouldn't be asking in the first place. Not to say that I think it's bad advice, but I think growing up is realizing that most people are carrying questions around. Adults just get better at hiding it. Somewhere along the way, people start acting certain because certainty is comforting. But underneath all of that, I think almost everybody is improvising. And maybe that's why high school feels so strange. For 4 years, we've been surrounded by pressure to become someone, to turn ourselves into something people can understand, a career, a plan, a version that sounds good when someone asks about it. But meanwhile, most of life was happening quietly in moments that didn't seem important at the time. And for me, those moments involved my friends. Some of whom, unfortunately, couldn't make it tonight, but they helped in many more ways than they could ever imagine. And it was always small things. They didn't realize how much that text message mattered, the call that went into the late hours of the night, the late night jokes, the gaming sessions, the hangouts where we didn't know what we were doing until we got there. That's what I'm going to remember. Because I can go on about how influential high school was and that these were the best years of my life. But that just wouldn't be true. High school was stressful, weird, and exhausting sometimes, but I can appreciate it for the people it gave me. There's something strange about realizing that ordinary moments are disappearing while you're still in them. One day you're sitting in a parking lot laughing about something stupid, and then suddenly it becomes a memory. I think that's what graduation really is. Not an ending exactly, more like becoming aware of time. Aware that life keeps moving whether we feel ready or not, that people change, places change, we change. And honestly, I think that scares a lot of us. There's comfort in repetition, in seeing the same hallways, the same people, the same routines every day. Even when high school was stressful or exhausting or overwhelming, at least it was familiar. Because maybe the value of something isn't that it lasts forever, it matters because it existed at all. Maybe that's why people become so important to us, because in a world where almost everything changes, being understood even briefly is nice. So no, I don't think high school was the best years of our lives. I actually hope it wasn't. I hope life keeps changing. We keep changing. So before we leave tonight, I just want to say thank you. Again to my friends, my family, and everyone who helped each other carry the weight of these years, even in the small ways you probably never realized mattered. Thank you for the conversations and the memories. Thank you for making all of this feel a little less lonely. So no, I don't think any of us have it all figured out yet. But that was never the point. It was to find one another while we tried. Thank you again, and congratulations, class of 2026.
Next speaker is our class of 2026 salutatorian, Brandon Rastegari.
Tell them. Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'd like to begin my speech by expressing my appreciation for those who I care deeply about. Thank you, Mom, Dad, and family for always being there for me every step of the way along my journey. I would not be here without my family backing me up, raising me to be the man I am today, and giving everything they had to give me this opportunity. To not only succeed at acquiring my high school diploma with a 4.0 GPA and an associate's degree in computer information systems from CNM, but to make them proud of the man they raised. I would like to thank my close friends for all the wonderful memories, times, and support they have given me. These past 4 years have had a lot of good times. However, there have been tough times as well. Our school and the exceptional education provided by our teachers was challenging, but ultimately necessary to prepare ourselves into the positions we are in today and onto the path to the future. It wasn't just academics that were tough. There were, as many of you can relate, really bad times outside of just grades and exams. I'll admit, I've had moments I wasn't and still aren't proud of. Moments where I personally made mistakes that I couldn't undo, and were with situations, people, and old friends long gone. I've had moments of weaknesses where I felt hopeless and incapable of accomplishing the goals I aspired to accomplish. It wasn't easy for me to be able to maintain my goals of all A's and my goal of achieving an associate's degree during these dark moments I've had. And I bet some of you had moments like these too. And yet, even with the mistakes and bad times that have happened, I am standing here today in front of all of you, having achieved all those goals I once thought were impossible. Not because of sheer luck, but precisely because those mistakes and bad times broke me down and built me up again. My senior quote was inspired by the famous anime and manga series Attack on Titan, "You are the real enemy." This quote, or at least my intention behind it, is that at the end of the day, regardless of who or what you believe is the enemy responsible for all the bad things in your life, the real enemy is you. Hear me out. For a really long time after a bad personal incident, I kept hating and blaming the people and circumstances that I thought were the enemy in my life and the enemy in my mind. However, I came to the realization that the one who was hurting me all along was me. This doesn't outright forgive what happened. It doesn't mean that you can fix bad circumstances by blaming yourself for them. But rather, this quote and my intention behind it encourages us to realize that sometimes our biggest enemy is ourselves. I could have let the hate swallow me whole, but I pushed forward and defeated what was holding me back, the real enemy. Now, the point of me yapping about my personal stories and achievements and hardships isn't to flaunt or flex, mostly. But rather, I am telling you all my story and beliefs to encourage you all, whether you've made mistakes, have feelings of anxiety or self-doubt, big or small, to keep pushing forward to your dreams and goals no matter what. When faced with the cruelty of this world, do not buckle or yield. Whatever you do at the crossroads, don't turn left into a life of despair, but rather keep going forward. Even if the stairs never end, keep climbing. I could keep going with the analogies, but I don't believe I need to say the same thing 6 or 7 times over for all of you to understand the point. I'd like to end my speech by saying that I don't know what the rest of you will do after we leave here today, but I know that I'm going to start over right here, from square one. No, I'll start from 0. Adore rules! And in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Please welcome our ASE class of 2026 valedictorian, Lane Brockington.
Good night, everyone. I personally want to thank my parents and family for their support in my academic endeavors. Secondly, I want to thank the amazing teachers that have supported my class to where we are now. Lastly, I want to remember and thank the departed teachers. As I have been in this school, it has shown me one thing clearly to me. In order to achieve success, you need a community. No person can achieve greatness alone. I often saw students helping each other study before tests, working together to make sure everyone understood the material. Behind every athlete, leader, or student, there's always at least one person who encourages, guides, and supports them. Our school is more than just a building. It is the home for a community that has been built over 4 years, or more for some. Classwork helped in building that community. When there's difficult times, there is always someone who is willing to help, whether to listen or to assist. In the same way that people are there to help, there is always people to celebrate accomplishments, whether that be scoring a perfect grade on a test or getting to the national level of a competition. Success is also proven in the real world to require community. A new product will not sell if the brand lacks public support. A political candidate cannot achieve public office if they don't have the votes to do so. Furthermore, the public disapproves of those who push others down to compete. So true success is not the title or the pay you receive, it is the community you build along the way. As we graduate and move on to different branches of life, I hope we remember the communities we built and the importance of helping even those who may be our rivals. Whether it was teachers, friends, or family members, none of us reached this milestone alone. I would also like to applaud the graduating class, as their path to graduation was not an easy one and they worked hard to achieve their goals. I wish them success in their future endeavors and hope they continue building community to help and inspire others. Lastly, to end off on, I would like to do 2 things. I would like to say, thank God for No More Achieve 3000. And to fulfill a promise, persona!
Tonight's slideshow celebrates a class I've had the privilege of watching grow up in real time. Class of 2026 was my COVID-era 7th graders. I got to look at them through black screens, look at ceiling fans and the tops of people's heads, muted microphones, trying to stay connected through uncertainty. They were the extremely rowdy 9th graders who returned to the building, determined to make up for lost time, and the curious, funny, and thoughtful seniors who now stand ready to graduate. Through every stage, this class has showed resilience, humor, and a dedication to one another that carried them all the way here. A special recognition goes out to Jasmine, Aaliyah, and Arjun, who began their journey at ASE as first graders and have truly grown up within our school. And finally, a huge thank you to Grace, Valeria, and Nikki for the countless hours of hard work that they put into creating this year's slideshow. Please sit back and enjoy this year's slideshow.
puzzle, like a hand in a glove. She gets dressed up like a pillow, so she's always in bed. Flowers for the sick and dead. She's on the go, way too fast and way too slow. She'll turn to stone at hospitals and funeral homes. And when the tide rises, somebody sinks and is gone in the blink of an eye. Somebody sinks and is gone in the blink of an eye. Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. So take the photographs and still frames in your mind, hanging on a shelf in good health and good time. Tattoos of memories and dead skin on trial. For what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you had the time of your life.
I wish somebody would've told me, babe, that someday these will be the good old days. All the love you won't forget, and all these reckless nights you won't regret. Someday soon your whole life's gonna change. You'll miss the magic of these good old days.
I was thinking about the band, I was thinking about the fans. We were underground, loading merch in that 12-passenger van, in a small club in Minnesota, and the snow outside of First Ave. I just wanted my name and a star. Now look at where we at, still growing up, still growing up. I would lay in my bed and dream about what I'd become. Couldn't wait to get older, couldn't wait to be some. Now that I'm here, wishing I was still young. Those good old days.
I wish somebody would've told me, babe, that someday these would be the good old days. All the love you won't forget, and all these reckless nights you won't regret. 'Cause someday soon your whole life's gonna change. You'll miss the magic of the good old days.
Wish I didn't think I had the answers. Wish I didn't drink all of that glass first. Wish I made it to homecoming. Got up the courage to ask her. Wish I would've gotten out of my shell. Wish I put the bottle back on that shelf. Wish I wouldn't have worried about what other people thought and felt comfortable with myself. Rooftop open and the stars above. Moment frozen, sneaking out and falling in love. Me, you, and that futon. We just begun. On the grass dreaming, figuring out who I was. Those good old days.
I wish somebody would've told me, babe, that someday these would be the good old days. All the love you won't forget, and all these reckless nights you won't regret. 'Cause someday soon your whole life's gonna change. You'll miss the magic of the good old days.
Never thought we'd get old. Maybe we're still young. Maybe you always look back and think it was better than it was. Maybe these are the moments. Maybe I've been missing what it's about. Been scared of the future, thinking about the past while missing out on now. We've come so far. I guess I'm proud. And I ain't worried about the wrinkles around my smile. I got some scars. I've been around. I felt some pain, I've seen some things, but I'm here now. Those good old days.
You don't know what you got till it goes, till it's gone. You don't know what you got till it goes, till it's gone. I wish somebody would've told me, babe, someday these will be the good old days. All the love you won't forget, and all these reckless nights you won't regret. Someday soon your whole life's gonna change. You'll miss the magic of these good old days.
Pero debí tirar más fotos de cuando te tuve. Debí darte más besos y abrazos las veces que pude. Ey, ojalá que los míos nunca se muden. Y si hoy me emborracho, pues que me ayuden. Tirar más fotos de cuando te tuve. Debí darte más besos y abrazos las veces que pude. Ojalá que los míos nunca se muden. Y si hoy me emborracho, pues que me ayude.
Thank you. It is now my honor to certify these candidates for their high school diploma. Will all the candidates who are receiving diplomas please rise and approach the stage. Rudy Banks. Liliana Blair. Lane Brockington. Beatrice Castillo. Christopher Cheney. Angel Cruz Iturralde. Amara Francis. Itzel Godinez. Katie Gooch. William Griffin. Graciela Hernandez. Valeria Hernandez. Isaiah Ibarra. Guillermo Knight. Brianna Luby. Jasmine Lucero. Aaliyah Martin. Galilea Medina. David Munoz Felicia. Julia Parker. Arjun Patel. Uriel Perez. Brandon Rustigari Kirk. Sebastian Salinas. Taya Switzer. Zoe Thomas. Jareth Torres.
All right, Jared. That's my cookie. We did it.
Tegan White. Galam Samir. Graduates, please return to the stage and face the audience.
Juliana, try to set you up freaking hard. Graduates, you may now turn your tassels. Congratulations, class of 2026. Graduates, stay on stage for a few moments so families can take pictures. After you exit the stage, you may take pictures outside. Thank you everyone for attending Albuquerque School of Excellence's graduation ceremony.